spend quite a bit of time trying to pick topics and speakers for this series every year, and I think we came up with a very exciting, interesting, and diverse set of speakers. We're certainly very much looking forward to. Just as a reminder, the breakfast series is sponsored by Kent State Ashtabula, Leadership for Ashtabula County, the Growth Partnership, and Gazette newspapers. Thank you to all of those entities for making this yearly series possible. Our first speaker today, for this year, is Scott Becker, CEO of Chromaflo Technologies. This was a company and a speaker we very much wanted to get on the agenda, and we're very happy to have him leading off for this year's series. I think it's a great story for Ashtabula County and the Ashtabula County economy. Obviously, formerly Plasticolors, a homegrown, successful company here in Ashtabula County that has thrived over a number of decades. And obviously now, with their recent announcements and direction, they're entering a new and exciting phase, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about what that means for Ashtabula County moving forward as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Scott Becker, CEO of Chromaflo Technologies.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? No. No? I hate to go behind the behind the mic.
Try that. Is that better? Yeah. I don't push the button twice. I'm going to give you some background on what Chromaflo is and how it came together. And then I want to tell you a little bit about what we do and the markets we serve. So hopefully when you walk out of here, you'll have a much better handle on where Chromaflo came from and where we're going. Chromaflo is a combination of two companies that came together on April 30th this year. It was about 2 years ago, May, that I was attending a trade show, and I heard that this company called Color Trend, which makes pigment dispersions for the coatings industry, was potentially for sale. And Color Trend was owned by a very large German chemical company. I knew of Color Trend because I've been in the industry, I hate to say it, 33 years now. So I've kind of touched a lot of applications, a lot of markets, and of course a lot of other companies that do what we do. So I approached the German parent company in May of 2010 and expressed an interest. If they were truly interested in selling the company, expressed an interest that Plasticolors would like to buy it. Knowing full well that Plasticolors didn't have the wherewithal to do that, but I figured that was something I could deal with later. It was in November of 2010 that they came back to me and said, yes, we're going to sell the company. Are you still interested? And I said, yes, we're still very much interested. And it was at that point in time that I had to go find a financial partner to help us pull this off, because it was a large acquisition for Plasticolors. We've done a number of acquisitions over the years. Actually, we've done 5 since I've been there. This is our 6th. But this was clearly a game changer. So at that time, we went out and started seeking who could help us acquire this company called Color Trend. And we went through about 20 different financial firms through the process, starting between January of 2011 and May of 2011. In May of 2011, we settled with this company called Arsenal Capital Partners. They're based in New York City. And we selected Arsenal as our partner for 3 primary reasons. Number one is they all know the chemical industry, and we felt that that was critically important, that we have a partner that understood the business we were in, not necessarily understanding pigment dispersions, but understand the nature of the chemical marketplace. Number 2 is their numbers are small. There's only 39 people in total at Arsenal Capital Partners. That's from receptionists to the 9 partners. We felt that that was important because we didn't want them to run our business. We wanted them to help us grow our business. And number 3 is they had the money. So those 3 things enabled us to partner up with Arsenal Capital. And between July of 2011 and January of 2012, we did due diligence on this company called Color Trend. And I think when we started, we gave ourselves about a 10% chance of pulling off this acquisition. And I think our competition probably gave us about a 10% chance. And we ended up winning. And then between February and April, we just dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's in terms of legal requirements. So that's the compilation of what Chromaflo is. Where the name came from, we were searching out, what are we going to call ourselves? What's this new entity going to be? And we were coming up with taking Greek names and putting them together and trying to come up with all these fancy names. And then one day, one of the gentlemen from Arsenal said, "Why don't you look at your trademarks? Maybe you have a good trademark name." And I never thought of that, so I got the list of trademarks that Plasticolor had, and we had over 100 trademarks. And I was going through the list, and I came upon Chromaflo. It's a trademark we've had since I think 1985. I didn't even know it existed, and I've been there for 13 years. So I liked it, and we named the company Chromaflo Technology. So that's how this came about. I'm going to take you through this presentation and give you a little flavor for what we do and the markets we serve. Okay, so what do? We make color. Our color is a liquid color, okay? And what we believe we bring to the color market is technology and science. And as you can see from the slide here, we also think there's still a very large opportunity to sell color on a global basis. This is Guangzhou City. It's in the southern portion of China. You can see it's pretty gray, fairly dingy. This is Ho Chi Minh City. Oh, sorry. That was Ho Chi Minh City. You can see the difference, right? So eventually, Guangzhou and other cities like it are going to adopt color as the quality of life improves in those regions around the world and the standard of living improves. You're going to see this type of activity take place. So what is it that we do? Well, we take dried pigment, we mix it in a variety of vehicles, primarily resins. We add some additives to it. We then take that and we mill it. And milling basically means we take it and turn it into a very, very fine liquid color. And we basically get the full value from each pigment particle through this milling process here. Then we make adjustments to tone it to the right shade of color that a customer requires, and then we just go through the various packaging stages. I'm simplifying a lot of technology there, believe me. There's a lot of technology behind everything that I'm showing you there. So our market applications, we're very, very diversified in the applications and markets that we serve. There are two primary markets: are the coatings marketplace, so paints, and also thermoset plastics. So you can see in the paint industry, we're in a variety of applications. Architectural paint is basically house paint, decorative paint, but we're in things like industrial maintenance, marine coatings, concrete protective, automotive refinish, wood. And then over on this side, on the thermoset plastic side, you can see many, many market applications. These are some examples of where our color is used. And at the end of this presentation, I have a variety of photographs that will give you a better appreciation for where our color is used. Okay, so what's Chromaflo's vision? What's our long-term goal? We want to be the premier provider of global coloring technology solutions. We believe that the former Plasticolors was that in North America, but what we were challenged with being Plasticolors was serving our customer base that was taking their business around the globe. And we looked at every possibility for Plasticolors to take its technology and planted around the globe, but we never really could afford to do it. We could spend the money, we could spend, say, $6 to $10 million and put a plant in China, but we wouldn't get a return for 5 years. And we needed to be in Europe, we needed to be in the Asian region of the world, and we really couldn't do that. So this acquisition gives us that, and you'll see that going forward. But this is what we want to be long-term on a global basis. So what's our mission? Our mission's about building stakeholder value, and stakeholder means more than shareholders. It means our community that we live in. It means all our suppliers, all our customers. We want to build value by delivering coloring technology solutions in both innovative and cost-effective ways. So this was the former Plasticolors and what we looked like. We did virtually 100% of our business in North America. 62% of it was in thermoset plastics, and 38% was in industrial paint and coatings. Okay, industrial paint and coatings are everything other than house and decorative paint. Okay, we had 150 employees. Been around for 42 years. Made a number of pigment dispersions. We also made chemical dispersions. We took minerals, did the same type of technology, put it in a resin, mill it, and those products were used for its chemical nature, not its pigmentary value. We also have a variety of additives that our customer base uses. You can see in thermoset plastics, the various end markets. The facility, we only have the one facility here in Ashtabula. It's a relatively large facility. You don't realize it when you drive down Michigan Avenue how large Plasticolors is, but it's a fairly large facility. It's 175,000 square feet. We're sitting on 22 acres, so we have plenty of room to grow. That whole wooded area north of our facility is owned by Chromaflo. So if we really are successful, we continue to expand the facility here in Ashtabula. What's unique about the former Plasticolors is all the technology that we bring to our customer base. What you see here is not every technology, but the major technologies that we've developed over the years. It's very, very unusual to find a pigment dispersion company that has that many technologies. In fact, I know of none, and I've been around 33 years. Typically, what will happen is a pigment dispersion company may concentrate on just a couple and focus in those areas. We basically do what the customer asks us to do. And so that's where our success has been. What you can see in this graph is that 65% of our sales come from products that are newer than 2004. So we are very innovative. We're constantly developing new technologies to serve the marketplace. We also have here in Ashtabula an extensive analytical lab. Now, I'm not going to go through all these pieces of equipment. For those of you that are chemists, you're going to recognize a lot of this. But basically, we developed this over the years to support primarily our thermoset plastic customers. They often have defects, and they'll say, you know, what's this defect? And we developed the technology to tell them what the defect is. But more recently, when we developed the coatings industry, we now can use the same technology to help our coatings customers with their problems. But it also enables us to take a look at our competitors' products and really understand fully what they're doing, because this technology allows us to pretty much pull apart anything we want and know what the makeup of it is. Okay, so this is the former Color Trend business. And what did it look like? Well, what you're going to see is it certainly has a little bit of different geographic and market diversity than Plasticolors has. First of all, it served primarily the architectural market. About 72% of its sales were in the architectural market, which is the home paints, the decorative paints. Plastic Colors did nothing in that market. Okay, so really a whole new market, and they did 28% of their business in the industrial area. In terms of geographic split, and this is what really appealed to us, was 46% of their business is in America, 54% of it is elsewhere. 34% in Asia Pacific and 20% in Europe. They had the global footprint that we were seeking. The former company had 320 employees globally. Primary market was architectural, but also industrial market. They did serve many of the same markets in the industrial segment that Plastic Colors did. However, they went to market differently than Plastic Colors. We developed different technologies to serve that market. They developed standard technologies to serve that market. So we really didn't compete that often in that industrial coatings marketplace. The color trend business did zero in the thermoset plastic market. Absolutely. It was a completely new market for the color trend business. I'm going to talk about these locations later, but they have a whole host of locations around the world. You'll see that on the map in a few minutes. They are, and we will continue to be an innovative company. This slide represents the innovations that the former color trend business has developed since its inception, which was in 1948. I think the major takeaway from this slide is right here in 1952. This company was the inventor of point-of-sale tinning. Okay, point-of-sale tinning is when you go into the paint store and they squirt those little colors in the paint can, and they shake up the paint and take it home and you paint your walls. This company invented that technology in 1952. And all the merchandising that goes along with it, all the color cards, all that was developed by Color Trend. And you can see over the years they continued to develop new technologies all the way up until just last year. We like that very much because that very much is what Plastic Colors has done over the years. Okay, so what's this point-of-sale tinting? Well, before the 50s, well actually in the 50s, if you wanted a custom color, you got it one of two ways. Okay, the painter took various paints and mixed them together and tried to give you something that you were after. Right? Seems kind of odd, right? But that's how it was done. Or the paint company made a limited number of pre-mixed paints. Okay? So you might be able to pick from 20 or 40 different colors, but that was it. And so this is an example of the value that point-of-sale brought to every one of us. Okay? This is what a paint company would have to do if it offered 40 colors. Okay, it had 10 cans of each color and 4 paint lines. They would have 1,600 SKUs just for those 40 colors. They have a tremendous amount of money tied up in inventory. Today, with 4 bases, okay, when you go into the paint store, you select the color you want. The person at the paint counter will pick a base, and then they'll tint that base. So with 4 bases and the 12 colorants, you can make anywhere from 800 to 1,300 colors. There's actually millions of possibilities, but typically there's in that range of about 1,200 colors that you can make to meet your personal needs. And you can see there's a huge savings for the paint company, which ultimately passes along to every consumer.
SKUs?
Stock keeping units. Okay. Okay, so this is the combination of the two companies on day one, what we look like. So this is what we look like today. A nice market split and also a nice geographic split. From a geographic perspective, about 58% of our sales are in North and South America, about 26% in Asia, and 16% in Europe. From a market application perspective, 55% in architectural coatings, 30% in industrial coatings, and 15% in thermoset plastics. Now, it's our intention over the long term to change the shape of those pies. We would like to long term take Europe and Asia and make it a larger portion of the pie, and we'd like to take thermoset plastics and industrial coatings and make it a larger portion of the pie. That doesn't mean we're going to de-emphasize architectural coatings. What it means is we're going to make the pie bigger, but we're going to grow thermoset plastics and industrial coatings at a faster pace, because that's the primary markets we're going to try to grow. We recognized that both companies had names that were well recognized in the industries that they served. And we really didn't want to lose that brand recognition, that good name recognition that we've had since 1948, since 1970. So we've taken the names of the companies and we've trademarked them. So Color Trend is going to be on every label that leaves every plant that serves the architectural coatings market as a trade name. And Plastic Colors will be on every label of every product that leaves any plant that's targeted for thermoset plastics. So the names will live on, but they'll live on as brands. This Chromachem was a trademark for industrial coatings that the Color Trend business has. It's well recognized in the industry, so that will be the brand name for any product that serves the industrial coatings market. Of course, all the labels are going to say, as manufactured by Chromaflo Technologies. This gives you a sense of the global footprint. Okay, this is the former Plastic Colors right here in Ashtabula. As you can see, we were built in 1983. We've added on to that building considerably over the years, but it serves both thermoset plastics and industrial paint and coatings market. It makes a full range of products and has a pretty extensive R&D facilities I talked about. We also have now the plant in Brampton, Canada. We have a very large facility in Laughlin, Ohio. Laughlin, Ohio is basically a suburb of Cincinnati. This plant serves primarily the architectural marketplace, very highly automated, very big batches. Really looks different than any other plant we have. We have an R&D lab and technical center in New Jersey. That is in the process of moving to Ashtabula. Okay, we're going to move the technical center to Ashtabula because we like the North American technical people to be all together. So that transition will take place in October. We're in the middle of $1 million expansion right now to make that possible. So we basically are expanding the facility here in Ashtabula for offices and laboratory space. Some of you have seen that in progress. That will be finished October 1st. And then the move will take place. We have a R&D lab in Brazil. Here, this little dot right there, that's the Netherlands. That's the country, but that facility looks just like the former Plastic Colors. It serves all of Europe, Russia, and Northern Africa. So that little dot serves a lot of territory. Here in Australia, this is a suburb of Melbourne, Dandenong. It's our facility that serves Asia Pacific and Southern Africa. We also have an R&D center in Kuala Lumpur. We have an R&D lab in Shanghai, China, and we have a company that toll manufactures products for us in India. So truly, in one transaction, we went from an Ashtabula-only facility to a global facility. This is the leadership team. I guess I'm showing you this only to give you a sense of, it truly is a combination of the two businesses plus some new people. The blue represents former Plastic Colors employees. The green represents former Color Trend employees, and the purple represents open positions, so they'll be filled with new people. So a really nice balance of the leadership team to make sure that we're all working in the same direction and are integrating the companies properly. And so, where are we going? What's the long-term plan? Our long-term plan is to double the size of our business in the next 5 to 7 years. We're going to do that 2 ways. We're going to grow organically, okay? And we're going to do that by taking our thermoset plastics business here in Ashtabula and taking that technology and transferring it to Europe and transferring it to Asia to serve those markets in Asia and Europe. So that'll be a big gain for us long term. The second thing is to pursue the industrial coatings marketplace in Europe, Asia, and the United States with a lot more fervor going forward. The former Color Trend business kind of looked at industrial coatings and specifically tinning paint in a paint plant opportunistically. We looked at it strategically. So the new company is going to look at that strategically, and our expectations are that we're going to grow our industrial coatings business pretty substantially. We're also going to focus on these emerging markets, South America and Asia. Kind of goes to that very first slide where Guangzhou is gray, right? But it's going to adopt color, and we want to be there when they do. So there's going to be a pretty heavy emphasis on the emerging markets around the world. And then in terms of inorganic growth, we're going to look at acquisitions and complementary products in adjacent markets. We believe that there are other markets that could use our technology, such as thermoset plastics. Thermoset plastics are things like the bottles your water comes in, right? Non-structural type of plastics. Lots of color used there. Not necessarily a lot of liquid color. We think we can sell our liquid color into that marketplace. There are other applications like lubricants. We can make pigment dispersions that are used for its chemical nature, again, not its pigmentary value, that can serve the lubricant market. Where there are things like cosmetics. We might be able to move into the cosmetics area. So there's a host of markets that we think that we can move into eventually over the next 5 to 7 years that would support our effort to double our size. Okay. What does this mean for Ashtabula? Well, Ashtabula is now the global corporate headquarters for Chromaflo. Right now we're in the process of adding somewhere on the order of about 50 jobs. Those jobs are everything from plant operations to finance people to chemical engineers to chemists to chemical technicians to a host of other administrative roles in the business. So, and that's not to say that that's a long-term goal or dream. That's going to happen. It's underway right now. I think some of you have been there. You see the expansion going on. And I can tell you that Mary Bruno here is our HR director, and she's spending pretty much 8 hours a day doing nothing but recruiting. So anyway, that's kind of the view of Chromaflo. A little bit about our financial partner, Arsenal Capital. I talked about the 3 things that we liked about them. They've only been around since 2000, so they're not an old organization. As I mentioned, they have 39 people. Most of those are in New York City. They do have an office in Shanghai. They have $800 million of capital under their management, so they certainly have the wherewithal to support our growth going forward. They're very adept at doing acquisitions. They've done 20 acquisitions so far. And they know the chemical marketplace, as I mentioned. These are various businesses that they have owned in the chemical sector, and these are various businesses that they have run in the chemical sector. So a great partner. I've been associated with them now for about a year and a half, and I haven't seen anything I don't like. Okay. This is the part I said I'd show you some applications of the markets we serve so you have a better appreciation for where our color lands up. So this is the architectural marketplace. You can see it's everything from house paints, both exterior and interior, to commercial buildings, right? And you paint commercial buildings to make them more attractive. This is industrial coatings, and there's more applications than I have time to show you, but this gives you a feeling for where our color lands up in the industrial coatings marketplace. Everything from floor coatings to terrazzo, to deck coatings, to track and field, to industrial plant applications. Also things like oil rigs, bridge coatings, tank coatings, automotive refinish. When you crash your car and it has to get repainted, chances are there's a reasonable chance it's going to come out of Ashtabula. To all kinds of fabric coatings, right? Again, concrete protective coatings. We're also in marine coatings, primarily on ocean-going vessels. This is where most of our colors used in these ocean-going vessels. We also end up on smaller vessels as well. And then in thermoset plastics, primarily structural parts. In terms of the automotive sector, you can get a feel for some of the applications we're in. Jeep, the Jeep rooftop, Toyota's the truck box, Lincoln, the back trunk lid, the hood on the Corvette, Ford's front edge inside the engine area. And this is the Volt battery cover. This item right here. So we're even on the newer vehicles as well. In non-automotive applications, there's just a variety of markets that we serve. Everything from light housings to the appliance handles in your kitchen to the fuse or circuit breaker box in your basement. Lots of electrical applications, insulators out there in the marketplace, even fire helmets, right? Fire helmets used to be steel, right? Well, think about it. You're in a fire, steel gets hot, right? Steel dents, steel rust, plastic doesn't do any of that. And all kinds of recreational vehicles. This is a market called pultrusion, a thermoset plastics market. It actually started with these ladder rails. So when you see the electricians' ladders, those orange ladders on the top of their truck, we have about 90% market share for this here in North America, so chances are when you see that it came out of Ashtabula. But this has moved from ladder rails to tool handles and now has moved into structural components, so building components, towers, gratings, railings, again, structural components. And then this is urethane and epoxy applications. The epoxy applications are those laboratory tops you see there, the black laboratory tops. They come in more colors than black, but almost everybody buys black laboratory tops. So they're here at Kent State, right? And they're here in just about every high school and university around the country. From a urethane perspective, we're in footwear. Steering wheels are urethane. I don't know if you know that, but we serve 50% of the market for steering wheels. We have everybody except 2 producers of steering wheels. We have all the rest of them. Armrest, again, recreational equipment. So I think the takeaway is we're fairly well diversified, which is good, right? It's good if one market goes down, we're not caught, being stuck in that market. Like if automotive were to go down, or heavy truck were to go down, we wouldn't get hurt that bad because we're in so many other markets. The other side of that coin is we're in so many markets, we're tied to the economic conditions of not only the United States, but the rest of the world. So if things are growing, we're doing very well. If things are slow, we're working on how to improve our cost position. And that's it. I hope that gives you a feeling for Chromaflo. If you have any questions, I'd be more than glad to entertain them. Yes.
Does Chromaflo have any major competitors?
Our second, well, let's say our largest competitor is a European company. They're about half our size. And then we have a host of, let's say, regional competitors. So yes, we have competitors. They keep us on our toes.
I've read a lot about nanoparticles being an increasing area of focus in coatings. And these can, I guess, can tie into making coatings that are resist germs and whatnot. I'm wondering how nanoparticles might play into your.
Yeah, we've done a fair amount of work with nanoparticles, and there's a very much of an interest out there in the marketplace for them. There isn't much of a demand yet. So we've done a lot of work in that area. We started it probably 5 or 6 years ago. It still really hasn't emerged. There's also a requirement, talking about nano, there's a requirement for pigment particles to be very, very small to get through inkjet heads for printing applications, for digital inks. That's a market that we are serving today, and a market that we want to grow going forward.
Scott, where do most of your raw materials come from?
All over the globe. I mean, we really are, certainly the U.S. is a big portion of our raw material supply, but we do bring in materials from Europe and Asia.
Is Cristal one of your vendors?
They are. We do buy titanium dioxide from a host of companies, including Becker. Sure.
Scott, the 50 new employees, are those mostly coming from New Jersey, or will there be some local hires?
Actually, most of them are going to be hired locally. Locally being, let's say, the region. We're bringing in a few from New Jersey, but most of the people in New Jersey really don't want to relocate. I think if we brought them here, they'd want to relocate. Those that are relocating will love it. Okay, so the quality of life. I lived in New Jersey for 3.5 years, and I live here now, and this is a much nicer quality of life, standard of living. So I think if people could see it, they'd come.
Scott, can you share with us who owned Color Trend before you?
Yes, the German company was called Evonik, E-V-O-N-I-K. They're roughly a $20 billion chemical company. The Color Trend business really needed a company that could spend more time with it. So it's a perfect match for us. I think inside of Evonik, it is maybe not as strategic as some of the other businesses. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Laura.
I just wanted to thank you, Scott, and thank Chromaflo and Plastic Colors played a huge role in founding leadership 25 years ago, and the commitment of the organization to our program, but also to adults and youth leadership. We visit every year for 25 years and hear about the company and the successes, and that class members, you've been a leading trustee of ours. And thank you for the commitment to the community.
Well.
Thank you, Scott. I think that was a great start for this year, and I just want to emphasize what Laura said. Plastic Colors and Chromaflo has always been a great corporate citizen, whether it's for partnership, leadership, CDC, a wide variety of institutions in the county. So both exciting to see them growing, and also we're all very appreciative of what they've meant to the community as well. Thank you for joining us for the first breakfast this year. The next one, the week in October, will be a look at the oil and gas scale play. We're going to have a panel of experts to sort of give an overview from a variety of perspectives what it potentially means to Asheville County. So thank you, and hope to see you next month.